And we have a number of strengths. We are not new to this, right? We were born in cloud as a cloud company. We are a software company. I get that. We were identified as an appliance company, a box pusher, if you will, early on. But the box was simply a means by which we delivered our software. That is where our value is, right? So as a result of that, we give customers many choices. You can choose your hypervisor. Obviously, we want you to choose our hypervisor, and I'll talk more about it and why. Choice of hardware, choice of cloud. Any workload can be run on Nutanix. We don't look at a workload and go, ooh, whoops, yeah, that's not a good one for us. They're all good workloads for us. We use a modern design, not a legacy design, but a modern design. We emphasize simplicity in all of our products, whether it's automation, whether it's self-healing and remediation, self-service components. We have those built into our platform. And we do all of this while maintaining our 90 NPS score. A lot of people don't know what NPS score is. It basically is a measure of whether our customers will recommend us to others, right? It's that simple. Almost every almost every company that has customers has an NPS score. You can just look them up. You can Google NetApp NPS score. You can Google VMware NPS score. You can Google for VMware. VMware has historically had in the mid 40s, whereas we're in the 90s. Big difference. Broadcom. What does Broadcom have? Net zero, right? Net zero, and that's not a product. That's not a good thing because the range is from negative 100 to 100. So I think it's an amazing thing, and it's a tribute to the value that we place on customer satisfaction. But why would you even consider different virtualization? There's a number of reasons why a modern infrastructure, a modern hypervisor would be desirable, right? What do you get from legacy virtualization? It's designed for legacy infrastructure. It promotes ecosystem lock-in, hardware lock-in. Its security is complex. Its management is complex. Because what is it really? It's the cobbling together of bits and pieces from separate sources, from separate manufacturers, each of which has its own life cycle, its own management, its own mechanism for security, right? Whereas a modern hypervisor is designed for HCI, it's designed for hyperconverged, it's designed for hybrid cloud. It promotes choice. It doesn't eliminate choice. It promotes simplified management. It promotes native security, native, right? Platform. Centralize the management for distributed environments, right? And it is powerful. Make no mistake that AHV is a powerful hypervisor and it's included. It's not free, okay? I didn't say it was free. I said it was included. AHV as a hypervisor is not a thing unto itself. We don't monetize it. We include it with our platform. So there's no license cost for the virtualization. There's no license cost for core management. Core management in and of itself is not an entity that requires its own scaling, its own infrastructure. Okay. So AHV is in fact the best option for giving customers choice with hypervisors, especially if they're looking for an alternative to Broadcom, or as I affectionately call BHV, Broadcom Hypervisor. Nutanix with AHV delivers operational simplicity, cost reduction, right? No licensing costs for the hypervisor. It's included. Did I mention it's included? I think I did, right? But it provides us with a number of things as a part of a full stack virtual networking. Flow, microsegmentation, automation with Calm, backup, DR, all of these things natively integrated, high performance for business critical applications. And that is actually our primary workload right now. A lot of you might think, well, they're a VDI play or they're whatever. No, mission critical workloads is our sweet spot. That is where the vast majority of our deployments are used. Okay. Very powerful, very enterprise ready. very good ecosystem support, over 800 solutions validated to work with AHV. That once upon a time, there was this idea of, well, if I have these virtual appliances or I have this workload, it's not supported on AHV. That is almost completely gone now, okay? So we have the ecosystem support that allows you to determine how you want to protect your data, secure your environment, what you want to use for VDI, right? We've got a number of choices there, third-party choices, ecosystem choices, additional management options if you see fit to use those, various DevOps connections, app development. So a lot of value there in terms of ecosystem. So don't think, well, if I go to AHV, I might not get support on these things that I have. I'm pretty sure it's supported at this point. Now, you do not have to do infrastructure modernization in one big step, okay? We could take a phased approach. You can add in a workload in your organization using AHV, a VDI workload in and unto it or unto itself, DevOps environment, a NAS. What should you think about that for a second? A lot of people didn't realize and don't know that we can use Nutanix just for storage, just for file shares, right? It's fast, it's resilient, and it's leveraged the way you normally leverage file shares, right? Whack, whack, server name, whack, share, right? That can be a Nutanix solution unto itself. So can we replace a NAS? Yes, absolutely. Okay, we definitely can do that. We can also take on a cross hypervisor model. So, and the reason I mention this is because for customers who have Nutanix and they run Nutanix on VMware hypervisor, when they run it on ESX, you can add Nutanix AHV to that environment and still have common management. It's not a one or the other scenario. I can add storage only nodes to an existing Nutanix environment running on ESX. So this cross hypervisor functionality, it's not just for disaster recovery. And I'll show how we can use that for migration to a new hypervisor too, right? So there's a lot of value in this. Or what do we hear from our customers? Customers who've switched over to Nutanix and or AHV. It's easy to learn. It's easy to deploy and manage. Remember, return or time to value. I want you to remember that time to value, easy to deploy, easy to manage, quick time to resolution. This is a manifestation of our NPS score, right? Delivers natively integrated platform capabilities. I can't emphasize that enough. Native, integrated. That doesn't mean locked in. That means there's a lot of value to it, and you don't have to go find other products to add in to figure out how to meet your business needs. You don't have to go shopping for features. They exist in the platform, and they exist natively in the platform. Another thing that we provide, flexible scalability. Remember, I mentioned that modernizing infrastructure does not require rip and replace. You can start small, you can scale on demand. One of the most costly and challenging aspects of designing traditional three-tier is buying enough hardware to support future workloads. AOS scales linearly and predictably, and we give you tools that allow you to look at your current infrastructure and determine when you're going to need more and what you should get, right? We can mix and match node types and workloads, right? So we are not locked in. If you buy into Nutanix, you're not locked in to that single platform build or that single configuration, right? You can add new things to the old cluster while you phase out the older pieces of that Nutanix cluster, right? So linear scalability, predictable scalability. This is all due to web scale architecture, not legacy three-tier architecture. You buy what you need today, okay, instead of having to buy for 5 years down the road, like you do with storage, right? If storage resources are running out faster, add storage nodes. If compute is running out, add compute nodes. You don't have to figure out and guess where you think you might be later on down the road, okay? customers who have converted over to AHV, they say a lot of nice things about AHV. JetBlue, big customer, they went all in on AHV. And this is interesting to me. It took us less than a week to become comfortable with AHV. Less than a week. Have you worked on trying to figure out cloud? Did it take a week? I think it took longer than a week, right? It took me longer than a week to figure out Azure and to figure out AWS because it was unlike anything that I had done before. However, if you have been doing virtualization, if you have been doing three-tier, this is a very easy switch mentally to understand and to figure out AHV. When I first came to work at Nutanix, we there was a lot of promotion, and there still is around our management. It's called Prism. Okay, Prism is our management, and they said we do all of our management from a single pane of glass. And initially, when I came to Nutanix, I thought, oh my gosh, another very complex management console where they just took all of the components of all of the other management consoles and just stuck it into this one. And I was very, very pleasantly surprised years ago when I discovered that Prism, easy to figure out. AHV, easy to figure out, right? And so same customer says it's a simple solution with everything we need displayed in one console. And we love, and everybody loves, one-click non-disruptive upgrades, right? One-click non-disruptive upgrades. We love that. And that's what we bring to our customers.